Welcome, BBCers, to episode number 277 of the Broken by Concept podcast, the number one League of Legends solo queue educational and motivational podcast. Charlie, Curtis, we're going to be exploring solo queue today because we love solo queue here. Curtis, you've been on the grind for end of season challenger. I think the season ends early January.
Yep, chipping away, getting there.
We've got the new winter map. Oh, the winter map.
New winter map, a lot of distractions on the Rift, a lot of trains going around the Nexus. I want to talk about solo queue reflections. So one of the channels we have in our communities is titled Solo queue Reflections. And it's a really great place for people just simply to reflect and vocalize how they're feeling at the moment. What's going on? What problems are they facing? And it's a really kind of productive way of kind of getting to the root cause problems of what's going on, right?
I love the word reflect. Reflecting is a good thing to do, especially on a difficult journey like the ranked solo queue.
Yeah, it's important to make the distinction before you read, Curtis, between venting and reflecting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Discords have venting channels, which we think is very unproductive to vent about your problems because it's kind of like vomiting out your problems, just fucking deal with it, you know? But reflecting is like, there's positive reflections too. You can be asking for help, or you could be receiving help, or like just giving people some things to think about, you know? Even just, it's like journaling.
Just perspective.
Almost. Yeah.
Just perspective. And so this one was a few days ago from Arcana. So basically here, okay, so recently Curtis gave me a really wise answer to a question about my insecurities in my league journey, diagnosing that I might be trying to solve long-term issues with short-term solutions. And this is something we see a lot in our academies, right? People try to put slap Band-Aid solution after Band-Aid solution on core fundamental either interpretations of the game or narratives, deeply held narratives about the game. And this deeply resonated with me. So I spent some time reflecting on my issues, and they've been feeling, very lost ever since they've just dropped Mel. So what they've realized is what actually makes League fun for them. It's not really about any specific champion. It's about reaching champion mastery, like knowing your champion so well that you can actually focus on the game. So TLDR, they actually highlighted the actual problems after probably reflecting what are actually holding them back in their league journey. So number one, I've been looking for the quote-unquote perfect champion with no downsides, which just doesn't exist. How many times have we seen this in the community? People looking for that perfect champion. It has mobility, it scales, it wins early game, it does this and this and this. Guys, feel free to elaborate.
Even if you think that exists, if you approach any League of Legends game thinking that I can win every fight because my champion's broken, or I can just do whatever I want and then the map will absorb to me, you've lost. You've already lost. You can't even approach the game with that mindset, like load into a solo queue game. There's going to be clear chess turns. They're going to have their turn. You're going to have your turn. There's going to be clear moments where you're stronger than certain moments. Like that is League of Legends to me.
You'd also just find yourself champ hopping, right? If that's your goal, is to just find whatever's good, you might find yourself playing Dr. Mundo jungle at the moment for a month. It'll eventually get nerfed, and then what have you done for a month? You're like, skills have you developed doing that?
So you know where champ hopping actually comes from, right? And this whole belief about finding the perfect champion is that you play a game, eventually. So either your champion's weaknesses get exposed in a particular type of game because we all have rough games on champions. You will have, like you say, Nathan. You need to be able to win hard games with your champion. We're all going to have hard games. And then what happens, now all of your weaknesses are abundantly clear, but then your weaknesses got exposed by that champion. Now you want to play that type of champion now. And then you go to that champion. And then the same process happens.
Yeah.
It's a cycle. You're just... once you start to realize what the weaknesses are of your champion, you have two choices, basically. Do I try to find a champion that has different sort of problems that can, cover this weakness, or do I actually buckle down and actually try to figure out what can I do about this? What is something creative I can do outside the box that can maybe cover over or smooth over some of these weaknesses?
The one I see in 80 carry bot lane academy all the time is I'm playing a lane bully champion, like a Jhin or something. I play a game, you get outscaled. Okay, I've got to play a scaling champion. Switch to a scaling champion, you get like obliterated in lane. Oh shit, I've got to play
And
a
you're
lane
useless
champion.
in like every skirmish and like in the
but
early
he's gotta
game.
pivot like back and forth. You never get good at either skill. But the truth is, if your laning was very good, then you can win through that. And you get through early game snowballing and generally getting a lead. And if you were good at the hyper carries, like weathering the storm in the early game, you can also win. Like you can win League of Legends games through many different avenues. There's many paths to the Nexus. But if you're constantly trying to like Curtis was saying, pivot between them, you'll actually never go far enough down each road to get to the Nexus. So it becomes like gambling. It's just random.
I also think that people, the honeymoon phase of the champion, they generally are so blind to the champion's weaknesses in the first 20, 30 games because you always have the excuse of, I haven't played the champion enough, I don't have yet mastery. But the weaknesses of the champion are literally demonstrated to you, but you block it out.
Yeah, you choose not to focus on them, right? Your attention is somewhere else.
And when you start losing or getting into the shit with the champion, or that like 70, 80 game mark where you really, it's quite clear, then that's where people give up and hot champ off.
There was actually a Skool post the other day that I saw of a person who was a Mundo Garen 2-trick in top lane, right? And their question was something along the lines of like, I've only played these champions for a long time, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, and whenever I go try to play a different champion, I can't bring myself to do it. It's just so unfun. And so their mindset now, every single time they play a different champion, all they see is the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because they've got no mastery on anything else but these two champions, and they've never gone out of their comfort zone to Champion Cycle. You've gone super, super deep down this kind of niche rabbit hole of Garen Mundo, right? Lot of sustain, hard to shove out, like no mana or whatever the hell it is. So you can just kind of spam abilities.
Yeah, that's probably the two like worst champs to learn the game lens through in a way. Like Garen's a good, a good beginner champ, but think about, because I've gone down the melee champ route, and think about playing range and range squishy champions, completely different universe. Really hard for me to transition to those. No mana, so no resources. You can just spam abilities. I like how you always talk about Vlad, Curtis. Like you just hate seeing people play Vlad in the mid lane because the whole resource mana management is just not a thing there. Mundo Garen, that's a rough journey spreading out to other champions.
And that's an example of, at the end of the day, if you want to do that, great. But now you've dug yourself a massive hole because every time you play that other champ, you're just going to see all the weaknesses. I can't spam abilities. I'm not as tanky. But that means you just need to unlock a different set of skills to leverage the strengths of that particular champion. That's the lens that you always got to enter. What are the skills that I need to develop to leverage, the strengths and weaknesses of this champion? I'll give you a clear example recently. So, Desperate Nasus at the moment is doing a massive climbing career at the moment. He's an amazing Kayle OTP. I think he's been ranked 1 in EU before. Really, really good player. And I regularly watch his videos. And when you watch him play Kayle, he's just figured out the perfect way of just minimizing Kayle's weaknesses. He goes like early Swifties. He like min-maxes his micro in the early lane. He barely uses Q to conserve mana, so he can use his mana all on W to heal himself up, goes D-shield. Like he's like mastered the art of Kayle. Right now, if you try to play Kayle, the average person, they're gonna get obliterated in lane. They're gonna miss a bunch of farm. They're gonna delay their power spikes. They're not gonna know how to duel people in the side lane. And so that doesn't mean the champion sucks. You just don't have the skill set yet unlocked to unlock the capacity of that champion. And that's the lens that everyone needs to have when it comes to champions. And that's easier said than done. But that's, you know what I mean? If you don't have that mentality, you're just screwed. You don't have the skill to develop a champion.
Great example.
I like the emphasis there. It's not on like, I need to do Kale's strengths better. I need to get really good at like fighting at level 16 and stuff. It's not that. It's like the David Goggins quote, right? Like double down on your weaknesses. Like, that's what you need to get good at in order to play these champions.
Yes.
It's like actually navigating the shit part. Because we could all, like doing the fantasy part of a champion it can be tricky on some champions, but usually that's not the hard part, right?
Yeah.
The hard part is getting there.
It's really interesting because Mel is a very problematic champion for a lot of people. Okay, for some reason, like versing Mel.
The highest ban rate in the game still.
Yeah,
Really?
insanely high ban rate.
Interesting.
And I've really been fascinated. Why is this the case? Why do people struggle so much versus Mel? Right now, yes, let's just put the annoying kind of side of it to that whole element, the feeling aside. Like, what are the nuts and bolts? What's actually going wrong? Mel is a champion where, like, if you walk up to it like linearly,
You run into, you're
just going to get hit by the E. You're going to get all the Q stacks on you, and then you try to trade into it. She's going to reflect whatever ability you try to use. You're going to lose that trade every single time. So what happens? It forces you to play around cooldowns. So you need to be more intelligent with your trading patterns. A lot of the time, you have to actually bait out that E in some way, shape, or form, right? You can't just walk up, here I am. You have to try and think about, okay, they've got this ability I need to dodge. I'm going to bake that out first, then do my ability. And then you need to be thinking about what ability are they going to reflect of mine. So it's a lot about thinking about them, what they can do to me rather than what I can do to them. And a lot of people and a lot of champions have this kind of approach of, as long as you know what you need to do to them, you're going to be okay. But Mel flips the narrative.
opposite, yeah.
It flips the thing because they countered that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I give you a very specific example I see a lot is Ari versus Mel. Right? It's a very common matchup. People hate playing this matchup as Ari. And usually
because they reflect the charm.
They reflect the charm.
Yeah.
Also as well, like you're both mid-range. So whenever you're in range to do damage, Mel's in range to do damage.
You get stat checked.
You just get stat checked. So so you're both mid-range. So Ari, you need to use your W reactively to avoid the E. You need to play for the wave.
Yeah.
Just cue the wave. Don't worry about like trying to kill the Mel all the time. Play for the wave. Leverage your strong wave clear. Turn it into a ping pong match. Neutralize. Get to your wave clear breakpoint, and just don't interact.
I love that feedback. Don't interact, because we get this problem in bot lane all the time as well. There's so many lane bullies in bot lane, and obviously a lot of people like to play hyper carries. And the biggest piece of feedback I give people is just don't trade. Just don't trade as much. Just trade more reactively.
Yes, trade reactively.
Stop trying to trade proactively into the Varus, mate. As Jinx, you're going to lose that trade.
Yeah, like if Mel wastes E and miss Q, then sure, you can walk up and trade.
Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of people's like, I have my abilities, I have to walk up and trade. But so it's a massive mind shift of like, you know what? I can use my W reactively. I can kind of play for the wave. I can trade my HP for the wave. Tempo reset and enter this. It's a different way of playing mid lane. It's like you're trying to play for resets. You're trying to play for tempo, and that's not intuitive. And it just falls under the same umbrella of solving problems creatively with champion mastery.
It's also tunneling on champion strengths as well. Like
Yes.
Just also just like
Ari's wave clear.
Ari's wave clear. No one
Yes.
focused on that.
So anyway, going back to the post. The second one was, I immediately disqualified champions because I convinced myself that I can't learn difficult ones. Even though I literally climbed from iron to silver and mastered Mel's complex timing. I've proven I can learn hard things. I just don't believe it about myself. Does this resonate in any way, shape, or form? Any clients that come to mind with this one?
This is just the OTPing disaster, honestly. This is probably the biggest reason why I tell people not to OTP. It's the longer you just commit yourself down one path, the harder it's ever going to be to veer off that path, because you just convince yourself you can't learn. It's like,
You can't do it.
I got this rank playing this one champion. If I try and learn something else, it's going to be so hard, or I probably can't even do it because of the narrative I built. So yeah, people shouldn't one trick for too long, because that's why you develop this kind of mindset.
What happens if you flip that to thinking, okay, I'm just going to embrace that I'm the person that plays those easy champions. I'm just going to get really good at that, and then not have, like, that is a path you can go down. I mean, that isn't the path that I've gone down. Like, I play simple. That's what my strength has always been as a jungler. I play simple to execute champions that are playing the map rather than the champion. Just double down on that. I've gone to Challenger with that.
But they're difficult in their own way. I would say that the reference points of your champions are incredibly complex, but the execution is very simple.
But in a way, Nathan is right, where he did double down on his strengths as a player. Right? In that sense.
Yeah, but you also had to play around the weaknesses as well. You're not blind to the weaknesses of your champions.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think it's a different route. I think you can do the route, you know, and like there is one tricks that are super successful, right? Like, but it sounds like it's like what you want to get out of League. This person wants to diversify their champion pool.
Well, getting to the third point, they said, I've been trying to pick a quote-unquote reasonable champion, but that robs me of all fun. Probably because I'm more of an emotional, intuitive player, which makes things harder, like choosing a champion. But some things easier, like sticking to one once it clicks. So my point is that, like, you know, without getting into the weeds of, you know, Arcana's specific problem here, like, notice how high quality these observations are.
Yeah.
You know, we're not now, there's no more window dressing anymore where we just, what champion should I play? And, you know, like just asking really like basic questions. Yeah. Like we're getting to the meat. What's really bothering you? Why are you sitting here at this rank for months and months on end? Let's actually have the tough conversation for a second. What the fuck is going on? And when you actually sit there and reflect for a second, these are all the messy things that will come out of the woodwork when you really are honest with yourself. And I think a lot of League players, you know, because League is such a hard game, like you will create these weird belief systems and narratives. And if you don't address them, they will haunt you. They will haunt you in the night, and they will keep you stuck at a rank for a very long time.
Yeah, it's great how that person was able to really sort of systematically break down the belief system. Why that's a tough thing to say. I literally don't think I'm capable of learning hard champions.
Yeah.
Imagine how many League players would be honest with themselves with that, you know?
Yeah, not many.
And you know where it started? Because they kept asking like shitty little questions. And I said, just stop. what is going on here? Why are we every few days we asking this sort of question? What is going on here? Right, this is a red flag. The fact that you've asked this question like 17 times
in different ways.
17 times. Like, let's just stop beating around the bush here for a second. What is going on? You know, and if you find yourself asking the same shit or the same shit is happening every week, like, why do I keep bouncing up and down the ranks all the time? I feel like I'm not having fun anymore, and whatever it is, I keep crashing out, as in Bot Lane Academy they always say, like. Okay, let's nut it out together, right? Instead of going in circles.
It's interesting you say that because like there was a Coach Mysterious video, Tim, who works in the Midland Academy. Shout out to Tim. He made a video recently about champion pool. I think yesterday, as we're recording this, and his analogy was that like champion pool just stops so many people from moving on.
Yeah.
It
really does.
It's like we say champion mastery is like the foundation of the pyramid. Like champion pool is below that. You have to lock in a champ to play it before you get good at it. And most people, they just build their fucking house on this shitty foundation of champion pool, which is so flimsy and all these narratives in there. But if you just have a rock solid pool, I swear you are just so far ahead of most people. Isn't that insane? Like if you just pick 2 champions or whatever, just stick to them for like a pretty long period of time, you're just...
Oh, for sure. Especially the ranks like iron, bronze, silver, gold. People just meta hop in and
playing the wrong champs.
Yeah.
It's not even like... I don't know what you guys think in your roles, but I don't really try and tell people what to play. There's just some champs you just should fucking avoid, like the players.
A couple of champs you avoid.
Yeah, just avoid like Draven, Kalista,
and the rest is
probably
fine. Yeah.
Like, but so many people just tunnel on the hard champions.
I've got a there was a league achievement actually the other day, and I wanted to actually read this one through because it was so awesome. So this is from J-War. He said, still can't believe this is real. Finally made it to Diamond 4. Huge shout out to Shock. Genuinely don't think I would have made it without him. All the sessions, yada, yada, yada. But he wanted to share a few things about his journey, partly to pay it forward and partly to encourage anyone who's grinding toward their goals in legal life. He works 50 hours a week. He's married. He has 2 kids. And as Mysterious says, I'm a time-poor adult, and if I wanted to hit my goal, that meant no excuses, no shortcuts, no ego, just solving problems and improving as fast as I could. I played around 300 games this season as an Orianna OTP. In about 80% of those games, I had my 3-year-old on my lap cheering me on or distracting me or headbutting me while he watched train videos on the second monitor. My games were as tense as I could make them, given the chaos around me. And look, if I can do this with a toddler practicing his Olympic gymnastics routines on my ribcage, so can you. So, biggest lessons. Orianna itemization is a maze. She has a ton of viable builds, but there's only one item you build every game, which is Dark Seal. So that one's for you, Shock. So Shock is a massive advocate of Dark Seal. Jokes aside, builds matter, but they rarely decide the game. No build saves you from ulting yourself because you lost track of your ball in a fight. Been there. Number 2, master the fundamentals. Control mages run on fundamentals. Jungle tracking, warding, leaning. If you die to the first or second gank, the game becomes 10 times harder. Early discipline is everything. Number 3, be on time to objectives. This was my biggest weakness and I didn't even know it. Shock hammered this into me over a few reviews. Orianna thrives controlling chokes, don't give space for free, yada, yada, yada. Number 4, learn how to enter the river. Sounds simple, just walk there. Yeah, no. Early on, I kept dying trying to enter the dragon from bot side alone while my team shoved the wave. Now it's obvious. Move together through fog. Lose a wave if you have to. Securing control safely is worth more. Number 5, mute chat and pings. Saw this on the BBC podcast and tried it. Straight up cheat code. It's like putting on earplugs at the playground. I could finally hear my own thoughts. Reviewing mistakes becomes easier. I stopped being influenced by players in the very rank I wanted to surpass. Trust yourself. 6, play fast. Hesitation turns 2 okay options into 2 bad ones. Sometimes it's better to make a decision and review it later than sit there for 10 seconds thinking. Win a fight. What's next? Where's the gold XP objective? A bad play executed cleanly beats a great play executed poorly. And then lastly, focus on improvement, not LP. The 2-10 loss streak is coming. Don't let it break you. Not every game is winnable, but every game has something to learn. Learn how to win the messy games and your ceiling skyrockets. If I could climb with a full-time job, a family, a toddler, climbing me like a jungle gym, you can too. Keep grinding, keep learning, and don't forget Dark Seal.
So that's Diamond 4.
Diamond 4.
Wow.
Think about that.
Impressive.
On Orianna.
With train videos on the second monitor.
Guys, this is what's possible.
That's an awesome post. Really good wisdom. Thanks. What was his name?
J-War.
J-War. Thanks for
Made that
sharing
much progress
that.
with only 300 games. You must be making the most out of every game. I love what he said at the end there. Learn to win the messy games. That's so important. I think you said something last week, Curtis, where it's like, if you lose a game, and I'm going to talk about LP for a second. Sometimes we don't talk about LP, but talk about like actually LP. If you lose a game,
It's the forbidden word.
40 LP
Yeah.
because you lose 20 and you lose the ability to potentially gain the 20.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll be playing these games where they're winnable, but like you didn't have a very good game yourself, but you just got to not fucking ruin it,
Yeah.
right? And so many people piss away those games where someone like Jay War, like, sounds like he's winning those messy games. He's keeping his head in the game because he knows intuitively, or even in reality, he has to make the goddamn most of every game he can. So he's not going to fucking ruin that game. But so many people who maybe play more than that, like thousands of games a year, they'll just piss that
those
game away.
games, yeah.
But those are the
They
games
lose
that make
focus.
you. I love what he said. He said winning messy games raises your ceiling. That's
Yes.
so true.
It's so true.
Yeah, I love that.
I just quickly talking on the mute all again. I was actually immediately critical of the streamer mode when it came out, but I use it and it's a game changer.
okay,
It
you
really
do.
is. I am a goblin
I'm
now.
still in denial, but
It works.
Okay.
I'm full streamer mode. I mute all. Like I've done it.
It's cool that you're anonymous, especially for us as figures. People know us.
It's
Yeah,
changed the game
Wow.
for me. It's
Wow.
been a game changer. Like I have so much peace of mind not seeing any yapping. I don't want to know who I'm versing. No one knows who I am. I'm just sending it.
Everyone
Cool.
talks at Nathan.
Everyone still
I was
does
in a
talk
game
to
with
me.
Nathan the other day. Everyone's talking to him. Someone called him like Whippy Rascal or something. Like,
Really?
it was mental.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing, especially when you're like, especially for you, Nathan. Like and
Especially with the way I play the game.
you have
yeah.
to, like, and I think that a lot of people, and I hate to sound like we're a broken record here, but like so many of us have an ego when it comes to like muting all. It's like, oh, it doesn't affect me, or if I see something, I will mute it then.
Yeah.
It's too late. If it's already affected you and you've had to read the chat, you're screwed. You're already on the back foot because now you're thinking, oh, that guy's tilted or he's having an argument. Oh, you've lost focus.
You
You've
lose
lost your train of thought.
objectivity immediately.
You know, a really funny one, just going to the narrative why people don't mute all as well. I literally saw it in a review that I was doing in the Jungle Academy.
Yeah.
I think it was a Diamond player. I can't remember who it was, or I just don't want to just call them out here. But they literally like smurfed the game. They do play mute all. And then at the end, they unmute all because they want to see people praising him.
Oh no.
So think about that in terms of the
Psychology.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's
That's
what-
the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the
no
truth.
one will ever say that, but they want
Interesting.
to be praised when they play well. That's why people don't.
You know who you are in Jungle Academy. this
Yeah.
time.
You know what as well? What that reminds me of is that people are they're equally bad, if not worse, at winning games than losing games. Like they treat wins.
That's right. Yeah, people are horrible at winning games.
That's
yeah.
the thing. That's what no one talks about.
That's where people just flat out just
Yeah.
get stuck
Yep.
because they're winning games and they're not realizing that there's so many mistakes they're making in those games.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
their level of play. You only are going to win those games, but then you're going to lose those.
They don't
other
review the
games.
wins.
Yeah, absolutely not. And they
No
think that
reviews.
I'm making progress, right? You know, that's not to say that winning games is not an indication of you making progress, but a lot of the time, people are. That's a good way of putting it.
It's how you win.
It's how you win.
how you
It's your
win.
relationship with wins. If
Yes.
you're like making this massive deal out of winning this game, when you lose, you're screwed. You're done.
Correct.
Oh yeah, because your journey's purely all about high highs and low lows.
Yeah.
But what you really want to do is just have like this nice middle ground. Like, oh cool, I'm winning games, I'm popping off here. You know, I'm playing like shit, but I'm not going to beat myself up. It's just like this nice, like
Like steady heartbeat.
yeah,
heartbeat
steady
kinda-
heartbeat
yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
No, isn't it steady? Isn't that dead? Like if it's just flatline.
You're like consistent.
yeah, consistent. It's like a heartbeat.
Yeah, you
That's right.
Flatline. Yeah, you want to have a little did-it.
Yeah.
Did-it. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys.
But
or
yeah,
whatever.
like yeah,
That's
No.
great.
that's good.
Okay, we got a Reddit post for you guys today. So this one is by Circus My Monkeys. This is on Summoner School. It's got a lot of discussion, 170 comments. The title of this one is Iron not actually a beginner's ELO? How am I supposed to start ranked?
So we chose this one because people struggle to start the game. It's a very scary game to
It's
start
intimidating,
League of Legends.
yeah.
There's a lot of things to learn.
For people who have friends who are trying to get into the game.
Yeah. That we always say like the tutorial sucks. I think you tried to make a tutorial a couple of years ago.
And people hear like, oh, if you ruin your account, you have to go to another account. So they're
Yeah.
scared about the MMR and
And a lot of people
LP.
just ask, how do I get my friends into the game? You know, it's very unintuitive. So
Okay, so I want to start off right off the bat. normals are simultaneously your best friend and your worst enemy. Okay. So I had someone in the program recently join, and they are a normals goblin. Okay. And they've played too many normals to the point where ranked is a giant event and normals is their safe space. And then what happens, I've seen this so many times, right? They play all these normal games, maybe with friends, high level friends, whatever. They win some of these normal games, but they're noticing that they're versing high level players. They're versing, oh my God, I popped into a grandmaster. They're a gold, right? Or silver. I'm versing a diamond in this game. And they win these games every now and then, right?
No.
And then they go into ranked. They have a completely different experience. The games are different. They get shit on, whatever. And then they think, well, something's not right here. I'm winning in my normal games. I'm versing high level players, but I'm losing in ranked. And then it starts this massive, weird, toxic view on the rank system. And so they've basically shot themselves in the foot because they're making rank to be this. They think rank's just toxic. Rank's just, they're not playing the game properly. In normal games, they group more and they play the mid game macro better, whatever.
No way.
Yeah, because they might say they refuse to play an iron because maybe the normal games are higher quality than iron.
That's what they say. And so now they're on one side, they think that they're a higher level than they are, but the rank system is continuously humbling them, tell them that they're not. And so now they're at odds. And so and over time, they play less and less ranked and more more normal games because it's their safe space. It's what protects their ego, what makes them feel good. And obviously there is the added benefits that they can play with their friends, right? There is that as well.
It's like an addiction.
All right, so let me read the post because this really goes on to this here, Coda. So
we're normals. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a new player that's been doing pretty darn okay in normals.
Here we go.
I play ADC mostly, so I usually have a pretty rough early game, but I pretty consistently come back from it. Mid to late game, I've gotten decent at reading the map and avoiding the mid lane ARAM. I often end my normal games ahead, burning through all the turrets and winning duels. I like playing competitively. I think try hard is a stupid insult because I enjoy trying my best and trying to get better and optimizing. Recently, I hit level 30 and unlocked ranked, so figured since I like challenge and competition, I'd hop in. I had assumed iron being the lowest would be the beginner's elo. I'd fit right in with my fellow incompetent tryhards. Apparently not. I just get crushed and started losing early, which to me is fine, but when my own team starts bullying me relentlessly, calling me useless, an idiot, moron, pussy, all sort of vile things. It's 4v5 hits particularly hard because it's literally insulting someone by pretending they don't exist.
Holy shit, wow.
Sorry to laugh at that, but
you've been reduced to nothing.
Yeah, this is just a 4v5. And you're just like this guy trying really hard in this game. It's pretty brutal.
You're the zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
And you just see that, you're just going back out and you're getting some means of fighting, but people are saying this guy does not exist.
Dude, imagine that, just playing football with your mates.
Yeah.
We just fucking...
We're down a man.
Down a man. How do we win?
That is a brutal insult.
We're trying to win. We've got no midfielder. We can't win.
Yeah, we've got no midfielder. We've got no striker. We can't score goals. That's brutal.
That is a brutal insult, isn't it? I like having team chat on because the banter is super fun when it works.
Come on. This is the thing.
We're just hitting the nail on the head. I didn't even read this post and we've just had so many topics already about this.
We are so spot on sometimes.
I want the banter, but I don't want to be told I don't want to get bantered. I sort of banter.
Yeah, so it's the banter's really fun when it works, and I've made some new friends with it. But whenever I hop into ranked, it feels like I'm just going in to be bullied and insulted, which is so confusing because I thought I was for beginners like me. How the heck is a beginner like me supposed to even start rank like this? Even though it's competitive, I play to have fun with my limited free time, but if I make a single mistake, my team just makes me not want to play anymore. I finish games in tears, even when we win because of this stupidity. I want to play ranked, but from what I can tell, it is just not welcome for new players. I don't think competitive should equate to mean and vicious, but instead just trying your absolute best.
Is the top comment better say mute all? What does it say? It does. Okay,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But why is this not the culture? Why does this person feel as though muting all is a sign of weakness or something? Why is that Have you guys dealt with people who refuse to mute all or struggle to mute all? Most people I help with, they just generally just do it.
A lot of people struggle with it.
A lot of people struggle with it.
Sure,
A lot of
people.
people.
Just like you said, it's
I think it's a sign of weakness.
It's a sign of weakness, or they
an
want,
ego thing.
or just like that, it's an ego thing. The upside of the
I have
unmute
some people saying that they want it because
the
it's more
dopamine.
fun.
Yeah, it's more fun.
But
Yeah,
it's
cope.
I think it's just cope. Yeah, for sure.
Well, look, you kind of... Okay, so playing, stillmanning their argument, for a second, there is a more human element to the fact that like you're playing a game with other people, you see other people typing. It's not like you're versing, 9 other bots, right? There is an element to that. But okay, this is the thing that a lot of people. This is a tough conversation, but just be real here for a second. League is just a hyper competitive game. Okay, it's a very, very competitive game, and in all competitive endeavors, there is banter. It's not like a very pleasant place. Like I told this story many times on the podcast. I went to one of my friends' basketball matches, and it was brutal. Like the crowd's abusing each other. The people in the crowd are abusing the players. The players are getting in top. The coach, it's nuts.
Yeah. And that's not even. No one's getting paid for that. That's like an amateur, like Soloq, right?
This is like Division 1, but like local basketball, right? This is not like we're not
in Australia or in Melbourne.
Yeah, Australia got My point is that if anyone plays sport, there is competitiveness.
That's what makes it beautiful, by the way. It's like this.
That goes hand in hand.
Yes,
right?
It goes hand in hand.
People give a shit.
Yes.
People are emotionally invested. So I do think there is an element of like, you need to have some sort of like, not like you can't just be super fragile. Is what I'm trying to say. Yes, you need a bit of grit. You need a little bit of grit. I'm not saying you need to cop all this abuse, but you need a little bit of grit. And I had someone. I'm not saying this to put them down. They came into one of my coaching and said, "Curtis, I just want to talk to you. We're not going to go into a coaching a VOD. I just want to tell you what's going on." And he says, the moment one person pings me or does one thing, flames me even the tiniest bit, I will lose it. I will want to lose that game. I'll int that game. I'll just give up. Right? Have you seen people like that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, mate, you're playing a competitive game. Like just like all shit aside, like you're playing a very competitive game in a ranked game mode, right? Where people are emotionally invested. You can't be that fragile where one ping sets you off. Be the bigger man, be the bigger person, right? And that is your competitive advantage, by the way, guys. If you're listening to this podcast and you have the ability to get question mark pings, mute them, not engage, and play your fucking best, you win.
Like J-Wall, win the messy games.
You win.
Win the game where the other people on the enemy team and your team are going to war with each other, and you're just like a fucking just full steam ahead, eyes forward. I'm just going to focus on the next thing to do.
You just have such an advantage. Like we all of us get like pinged and all that shit in game, and like our advantage is that we can just we don't give a shit. Yeah. Our ego's not attached. Like I'm going to play my game and I'm going to win.
And the results are the results.
The results are the results.
I don't even think I'm going to win. I'm just doing the next best thing in this game right now, adapting to what's happening on my screen.
You don't have to like how I play. I don't give a shit. I'm playing my game. You play your game, and we'll see who gets higher rank in the long run. Yeah. Right? And so like I think there's an element of grit. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is like, I do think, tying back to if you're a true beginner, you probably shouldn't be diving straight into ranked, right? If you're level 30.
Just at level 30, yeah.
You should still
this is where you were saying
yes, you need
normal games are your best friend, but also you can't go to the
exactly
extreme,
right. Like you need to get to a point where like you use normal games to develop a high level of champion mastery, solid amount of champion mastery. Maybe you've even champion cycled a little bit. You've maybe got a backlog. You've cycled through maybe handful of champions.
You know what it sort of feels like to carry games.
Yep.
You had a sort of an idea of how to do damage.
Know the reference points basically.
Kill the nexus.
And then jump in, right? And then yes, you're not going to have an amazing, pleasant experience. And the tough pill to swallow, guys, is that there are a lot of people in Iron and Bronze that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? There are going to be more AFKs. The macro is going to be less sophisticated. People are going to check out. People are going to whatever. Because you're in Iron. You're at the bottom of the barrel. A lot of people don't care. People play Soloq casually in those elo brackets. And that's fine. But that, again, is your advantage. You are the ally. If you want to climb and you want to take it seriously, you will demolish these people with time, with effort, with consistency.
The Faker story, right? The famous story of Faker. He literally only played normal games. He never played ranked. The only reason he started playing ranked was because his queue times were too long in normal games, because there is MMR in normal games as well, because he was so high. And then he literally went from normal games and in under a year got rank 1 and won Worlds, right? With World Championships. So the fact that exists, I'm not saying, obviously
probably
there's
too
a lot
much
of
normal
talent
games there from Faker.
Yeah, maybe too many normal games, but the fact that you can get to that level, or he wasn't a rank 1 player from normal games, but to a very high level in normal games means there is something there.
Yes, there is something
You are
there.
playing the game. You're playing Summoner's Rift. You're not playing a different game.
I will say just some 80 carry specific stuff for this guy if he listens. Don't discount the laning phase. You said at the start here you have a pretty rough early game because you're an 80 carry. 80 carry does not need to have a rough early game. You definitely need to work on your laning, especially if you're going to get out of Iron. It's not the most important thing, but you need to have a consistently decent early game. Something else he said was about mid game. He says he avoids the ARAM. If you go into ranked in Iron and you avoid the ARAM, you are single-handedly losing your team.
Imagine
game.
a Jinx split pushing bot
Please,
at like 20.
because that's what he said.
You
He
need
said,
to
I go
play the
around.
ARAM well.
He even said, I take all the turrets, which means he is side laning as
Split
a
pushing.
carry. Number one thing I say in reviews to Iron and Bronze players: get the fuck to the ARAM and cast your damn spells. Like, just go in and shoot them, and that's how you win.
Play
right?
the fights well.
Play the fights well. You need to embrace the ARAM.
So-
Stop trying to hunt farm and stuff.
I want to say one thing about normal games that may contradict what you said, Nathan, but I think it's important to have both, right? Again, best friend, worst enemy. Normal games give you a massive spectrum of problems, okay? So what ranked does is that it basically limits the type of problems that you're going to be experiencing because you're playing versus a very particular set of players, okay? When you're playing normal games, you're versing a wide spectrum of players. Off-roll, high elo players, players that are try-harding, duo queues,
Drunk Curtis.
drunk me on the riff, right? You're going to be playing versus a wide variety of players. So therefore, if you're versing a wide variety of players, your problems are going to be different every game. Some games you'll win lane, some you'll get stomped, some you'll do this, blah, blah, blah. The games will play out very, very differently. Whereas ranked, you're going to have less problems, but they may be more painful, but they'll be more like concise. You'll be able to accurately identify what is going on very quickly. Yeah, you might get stomped in lane, but at least that's a very clear problem. You can work on that. Don't see that as a negative. See that as an opportunity to learn that. Why am I getting stomped in the first 5 minutes? Okay, let's get into that. And let's keep getting in the reps. So I think a lot of people are afraid of getting stomped as well. Like, get stomped and enjoy it. You're going to get stomped a lot in your journey. And that's just it goes part and parcel with the ranked experience.
I think that's awesome. I think based on what you just said as well, I had a thought and now it's gone. Never mind. Keep going.
I will
come
say
back to
one
you,
last thing.
Charles. I'll come back.
This is also why duo queue can be a little bit iffy because duo queue also can give you a wider set of problems. By the way, it's
I remember my thing. Okay, you got to climb one rank at a time was what I was
Yes.
going to say. And the normal games isn't one rank at a time. It's all these ranks smashed together in this little soup pot of nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas to get out of Iron, you need to learn how to win Iron games. That's what I was going to try and say.
Love it.
Okay, our last topic before we jump into Skool. Curtis, you had here changing as a person, sunk cost fallacy, fixed mindset.
Okay. So a lot of you guys watching this podcast have played the game for quite a long time, and something that we just take. Something that we intuitively understand in real life is that over years, we just evolve. We change, right? We change friends. We may, enjoy one thing and then, change our opinion on that. And the exact same thing happens in League, right? I've had so many people who write into me and say, Curtis, I feel like I just don't like this champion anymore, but I feel like I said that I was going to commit to this journey and like, Am I being wrong for going back on what I said? And I say, look, man, you said you were going to be a Yone OTP 2 years ago or a year ago, and now you don't want to do it. Then stop doing it. You've changed. It's okay to be like, you know what? Your interpretation of the game has changed. And I give people this example, like where I use me as an example, where I had this very clear identity as a mid laner, and I did a 180. Everything I liked about mid lane 7 years ago is complete polar opposite to what I like about mid lane now. And I evolve. And no one listening to this should feel ever locked into the identity, the patterns, their thought processes to what they had in the past. Be okay with changing and be like, you know what? I hate Yone now. I don't want to play like this anymore. I want to play a mage. Or I want to play this. I want to change roles. I want to play jungle now. That's actually the part of the game I enjoy.
That's where the most growth happens, by the way. Like, I've become... imagine if I was still playing Udyr the same way I was playing like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I would be...
You wouldn't even enjoy the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't enjoy the game.
I don't think you'd be playing the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be playing the game.
No.
I remember that's when I came back from my
Yes,
break.
I remember that.
I was like Emerald Diamond, like just hard. No, I was like
Yeah.
Platinum, like literally trying to play the same way and had the same identity, everything from like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That was Nathan's
didn't
actual
work.
rock bottom.
That's real
You
rock
went to
bottom.
support, I remember. You rolled
I
up
did,
to
I rolled
support
up to
for a
support.
tiny bit of time and then came back and then you got into the goddamn details.
Yeah,
Got
and
the
then we
work.
started figuring out the game and,
I
and
don't know,
changing my
where did-
mindset.
I've never actually asked you this. Where did Rek'Sai come from?
It's a great question. Oh, I think, yeah, it's a great question. I think it's again the whole idea of easy to execute champions.
Interesting.
I don't know, it just clicked with me. I just really
It
liked
just
it.
doesn't make sense. But
doesn't.
it does now. But
Yeah.
going back to, it's like what you were saying, it's be okay to change. You tell Nathan from season 3-4 that you're going to be a Rek'Sai main.
And like win the game from the early
what are we-
game, and
what are we
like
talking about?
play win conditions.
It's
and,
complete
like,
polar opposite.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
be down like 100 farm.
But
and
Nathan's
winning
proved it.
games.
He's literally perfected both styles, like borderline perfected both styles.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and going back to your example of you're the wave clear mage guy.
Never
and
play
then-
the map.
and
No,
then
it's opposite.
And then you're playing Fizz, and then you started playing all the the melee champs and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean you've obviously played so many champs, so that's where the growth happens. Of accepting that's not who I can evolve and just being open to that I'm evolving as a person.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just unfortunately have a fixed mindset with this. They don't necessarily believe that they can grow as a person. It got me thinking of like the sunk cost fallacy. Like, I've played Yone for so long. I maybe I could learn something new, but it's going to be so hard. I may as well just commit to Yone now. I've already done it. But again, Nathan's the proof. Curtis is the proof. You can change it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's not even growth. It's like so the growth is what happens as a result, but it's just I can change my mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can just change my mind, and that's okay. I'm not,
I
not
can
locked in.
change my mind and change my beliefs, and that's
And
fine.
that's fine. And I
Interesting.
think that's so important. Even like this is, I would say,
I love changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charles is on the extreme of changing his mind.
But I would say this is like something, like a message in this podcast, like for just real life. Like,
People don't want it because if you change your mind, it's again a sign of weakness. It's like, oh, that means
So
I.
casually. It's just a game, mate. Just don't be so attached.
Yeah,
to,
people
like...
don't like changing their opinions because it goes to show. I don't know. There's something around.
Yeah, there's
that.
something around that where like it's like if I've said this in the past and I've said this to people, it's like if I change my mind and I say something different, people are gonna
Like I'm a contradiction.
yeah.
I guess I'm a contradiction.
I'm
or-
contradicting
Yeah,
myself or something.
That's interesting. It's like being able to. Like, it's almost like admitting
Hypocrite.
you're wrong, but it's not.
People
It's
people
like-
don't. It's like it's all in our head. Like if you
Yeah.
just say, "Look, I don't really believe that anymore." I actually,
Yeah,
I
no
was
one
wrong.
actually
No
cares.
one.
Oh, by the way, just the idea that other people even care about what you do.
Yeah.
Like no one
Yeah.
cares.
No
mate.
one actually-
Everyone thinks that people got like this like book written out and then they have to like scribe out the book and change like a couple of chapters or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, this
know?
is
This is your life. You're just sitting at the computer. Like no one's actually tracking.
No one
what
gives
you're
a shit.
doing. Give it 6 months. No one will remember you playing.
and that's the
Go.
that's the validating thing. It's
awesome,
If,
yeah.
if people can actually like embrace that no one really cares about you and the Rift, like you're gonna be forgotten, and
Yeah.
you might piss someone off, and someone might get so angry at you. No one, that guy doesn't really care. They're gonna forget
Yeah.
about you the next day. It's whatever. And that is, I'm gonna be making a video on my YouTube soon about Master Tier, Low Master. Low Master is the cesspool of ego and people giving that too much of a shit, and no one being able to say, you know what, I am wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Obviously what I'm doing is wrong and I need to change. It is the definition of like the opposite of that.
Fixed mindset.
Fixed mindset. Exactly right. And that's why people stay in Master for years and years and years.
They never get out actually.
They never get out.
All right, moving on to our school post of the week. If you want to join our school community, we're almost at 10,000 members, by the way. So it's been thriving recently. So you head to the link in the description or wtl.lol/school. This one here is from DumpsterPlayer. The title of this, it's an interesting name, literally Dumpster Player. So
He plays in a dumpster, or is he a dumpster level player?
yeah, but that's not good confidence there, is it?
We'll see. We'll see what the post
Yeah,
is
let's see
about.
what the post is about. So the title of this one...
Identity level.
Identity level, yeah. I am a trash tier player.
Yeah.
Wakes up in the morning, looks in the mirror. I'm a dumpster player. I'm a dumpster player. I'm
Imagine
a dumpster
logging in and seeing that is like your name on the Rift.
Yeah, that
Dude, there's some really big, like, especially just like Master Tier. In Master Tier, there's some really mean names about people themselves.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not good. Like hard stuck intarts. Then again, like,
Oh,
like stuff like
God.
that. It's not
Yeah.
good. It's not good.
Skill shot misser.
It's your identity, yeah.
Yeah, it's really not good.
All right. The title of this one is Reach Diamond, What I Did to Climb, What I'd Recommend to Emeralds. This is interesting. Emerald is a very hot topic. People say it's Elo hell. So let's see what here. I did receive coaching in the Midland Academy and received a lot of great advice. I felt like maybe 60% of the things I already kind of knew, but the prioritization order is just as valuable as knowing what to work on. Put in here some things I did in addition to implementing coaching objectives that I think are underrated and something to try. Number one, a second round of learn what any enemy champs do. I've learned a basic level of what most champs in the game did before, but taking them into practice tool allowed me to learn many small details which can help me to figure out how to fight that character. Number 2, bot games. Yes, as an Emerald player, I did a fair few bot games, maybe 50 or so, to get better at CS in. I just noticed I was missing a lot of the CS uncontested in front of me. Things like on Ari, auto first minion, wait till it's low enough to die to Q1, then Q, wave, and W to finish off. If you can't consistently do that in a bot game, how are you going to be able to do that in a real ranked game? Hold my spells more. This is my favorite one, by the way. I love holding abilities. Especially my Mumu players, my Mumu Q. I always say, relax. You don't need to rush it.
Holding Q.
Holding Q.
Great holding Q.
Lilia, Charles, holding E.
Holding
You
E,
invented that.
Holding E. Or just order them to death.
Yeah. With red buff.
With red buff, yeah.
What's the auto animation on Lilia? It's like,
You swing the bat.
what's the bat?
Hold my spells more. I learned this when playing Ari, but it was invaluable when playing my actual main champ Hui. In general, if you have an unreliable spell or skill shot, just wait for the reliable CC to follow up on if you have it, or for a known animation lock like Silas, Emerald 2,
E2.
or E2, guarantee it. The act of consciously trying to hold it also teaches you unconsciously why you need to throw it in the first place. Next one, all chat off. I was and still am a massive tilt typer.
Oh no.
Someone will say one stupid thing in chat, and for the rest of the game, I'm thinking about it.
We read people's mind, honestly.
What the hell?
I'm thinking about all.
Synchronicity is crazy.
Yeah, everyone's just admitting, by the way.
Because
that
it's true.
yeah.
This is the truth comes out when you
Yeah.
really see it. It's so common.
No one talks about
No
this,
one talks
though.
about it, but everyone does it.
People are very good at lying to themselves in League community. Not our community, though.
No.
We just reflect here in the BBC
Soloq
podcast.
Reflections channel.
Yeah, now there's about a 50% chance I accept it. So still 50% of the time. I'm still mad, but I'm trying to pivot from min-max me to min-max situation. I put 250 games into Ari on my Smurf. It took me a really long time to learn her. I think my first 100 games or so were wasted because I wasn't playing Ari like she should be played. I was playing her like a control mage. I remember distinctively where I just so happened to join the fight by ulting over the wall and then front to back and smurfed it. It was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I picked up Ari to fill in a draft gap, but I think it ended up being my best performing champ. 250 games OTP was a mistake, as my Hui suffered a fair bit as I complained about it in another Skool post.
You should have played with a 2-to-1 ratio.
Exactly right.
Why did I not give the champ up? I didn't mind playing Ari, and I was pretty sure one of the skills I was missing was being able to differentiate between this is how League is played and this is how League as a control mage is played. So I wanted to push through and learn another style. But secondly, with learning what a skirmisher / push and move champ wants, it was easier for me to figure out what to do against those type of champions as well. I'm aware in the fights of what could happen rather than, oh shit, Akali is here. I might start off a dragon contest or something in a bush guarding a flank.
So that was a bit convoluted, but I think his point there for Animal players to learn was getting another perspective on the game.
Yeah.
Not just the control mage perspective, getting the Ari perspective helped his mage play.
So then he goes on to say, in Champ Select, try to imagine how the game is going to go, or at least for me, I think, number one, do I win my lane or get priority in this lane? The second question you would ask is, do I want 2v2s with the jungle or not? The third question, how do I imagine team fights going? Who is the initiator of our team and theirs? What are the go buttons? Where do I need to position in team fights? So in Champ Select, he's imagining these things and visualizing. No doubt the speed of this climb was luck. I won 14 games in a row from Emerald 3 to high Emerald 1. I'd like to think I would have climbed any way over another 50 games as I was in terrific form towards the end. First time in years where for a few months I've actually played like 15 plus games a week regularly.
I do think that last bit, there's two things I want to comment on here. The first one is in Champ Select, he's talking about, visualizing comps, whatever. Even if that doesn't help, the fact that you're thinking about the game and not like in La La Land on Facebook or YouTube is the positive.
Yeah,
so you can't
yourself,
quantify how much of that is going to help you. But it's like, again, it's distracting you from the toxic stuff, right? The second thing, okay, I actually have been doing the one on CSing. So
What, in bot games?
No, not in bot games, but like I come into the lane and I'm really focusing on my CS to the point where like I had a game and I'm like I get to the fourth wave and I haven't missed a CS. I'm like actively focusing on that. And that matters a lot because a lot of people don't understand. If you're not really paying attention to your farm, even I'm a long-term
With
player
a
since
lot of
season
muscle
1
memory.
with a lot of muscle memory.
You would have CS like billions.
I've used billions of CS, and I still have to focus on it. What I'm doing specifically is I'm allocating mental psych energy towards it to really make sure I get it, because, and this is a difference maker in my games. I get to the 5th wave, 6th wave, and I'm up a lot of the time, 12, 13, 14, 15 CS, because I'm just hitting my CS.
I do notice this. I know it's interesting because it can come across as lazy advice, but what I say in reviews is people just need to be fucking more addicted to the farm.
Yes.
You have to really want the
You
farm.
have to really want it.
Like,
God, now
remember-
people are going to be
remember-
dying for cannon waves now, Charles.
Do you remember-
you should die for cannon waves.
Nathan, you remember one of the players you worked with, Fantix?
Yeah.
He was obsessed with
Oh,
farm.
yeah, he was obsessed.
Like-
I really want that.
Like, he
goddamn
was
farm.
angry when he missed
Yeah,
farm. Like, he was
yes.
like, "Why are you taking that
That's
wave?"
like worse
And-
than a death.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
really angry. Like, he didn't want to miss a single minute, and it stuck with me. His attitude towards farm.
You see a lot of players, especially around like the gold platinum range, they just casually miss a cannon,
Yes.
casually miss 4
They
CS.
throw out abilities on the wave,
Yeah,
AoE, and they all get really low.
Or they get locked up in a trade, and then as they're trading, 4 minions die. It's like, if that's my game, I would choose the minions over the trade. 10
Yes,
times out of
that's
10.
another one. There's a minion dying, or you can go for the trade. Get the minion,
goddamn minion.
then trade. So like
Yes.
that's what I mean. Like, that is a big, really good piece of advice. It sounds, like you said, it sounds so
Sounds
like,
lazy.
generic. And yeah. They told me to CS, but like, it is
Get 10 CS per minute.
It's not even about the number. It's just the mindset
It's
and
where your
approach.
brain should be.
Yes. Don't get too caught up with it. Get the CS first, then trade.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really important principle, and that will print LP.
Yeah,
100%.
because the reason why you get to your items faster than your opponent, so you can win more fights.
Yep.
That is why.
Get strong. Just like the 99 episode, we
Yep.
saw the power of being rich in League of Legends.
Yes.
The difference maker.
Yeah, but he plays the broken role of jungle, so he doesn't have to get CS.
Yeah. Well, I do think, I will say, as much as I might get mean for
Squeeze that
this,
narrative in there. Just squeeze
Charlie's
in,
jungle
it's
narrative.
there
just
is
narrative.
an intensity to clearing your jungle camps that a lot of junglers don't have as well. Like kiting to the next camp.
Yes, that's a big one actually.
Right,
Knowing
like-
how many can you get? Do you need to get that additional order, or is your
Yeah.
whatever's
That's
going to
so
kill?
hard. So much PvE right there.
Dude, okay, that is... when I play my best Rek'Sai games,
No,
I'm
I'm kidding, I'm
clearing...
kidding.
I'm
Yeah,
hyper-focused
no,
on clearing the camp beautifully.
Obviously, I love clearing camps. I was
You do,
good at
Charles.
clearing
You love
camps.
PvE,
I love
Charles?
PvE. I'm a World of Warcraft player at heart.
Yeah.
I love PvE.
So thanks, DumpsterPlayer, for sharing that. Maybe we can change that name.
Yep.
Kid in Diamond, good advice for Emerald players. I like how we're focusing on the, things that sound basic and Emerald players think they do. We review all the time. They don't do these things consistently enough. And these are the things that mattered for him.
Love it.
Mailbag time. Away we go. Welcome back for Nathan's Mailbag. Jingle, jingle, jingle song. Alrighty then. Our first question here comes from Cookie. You guys will love this one. When did players stop considering League of Legends a fighting game? Hello, Curtis, Nathan, and Charlie. Cookie here, and I have a different kind of question for the mailbag. On the most recent episode where you guys discussed Champion Mastery, you guys brought up again the concept of League as a fighting game,
Brought up again.
and additionally said that players more generally consider League to be a strategy game, and that people feel as though getting better at fighting aspects of the game is impossible. My question is, when and why do you think this shift occurred? I started playing in Season 3, and although although I've never been a particularly good player, I remember the culture around the game being entirely centered around the outplay. Win lane, win game mentality, tunnel vision on beating your opponent in the 1v1 and everyone looking to replicate the Faker Z play type of moments. What's the reason for players in the ranked community losing this affinity for mechanical skill?
I've got a grand theory.
Here we
I have
go.
a theory
Theory
as
of
well.
everything.
Okay.
Okay.
That is
So-
a big theory.
Number one, what happened is at the beginning of time. In the beginning. So basically, early season 1, 2, 3, the game wasn't really well understood. Okay, and so the macro element of the game was just basically not a very. It wasn't discussed because things like tempo and side lane wave management and vision. That's not what the game was about because people didn't understand it yet. Okay,
Yep.
the game wasn't sophisticated enough. There wasn't enough people thinking about strategy. Okay, so fighting was the only thing, as well as the game design itself rewarded fighting because the game wasn't really about neutral objectives in season 1, 2, and 3.
Thing,
Right, there was no elemental soul, there was no rifts and grubs and all
It
that
was
shit.
a gold-based
It was a
game.
gold-based
It
game.
was economy only.
It was economy, right? So it was all about farming camps, hitting minions.
Dragon gave gold and stuff.
And Dragon
right?
gave
Yeah.
gold,
It
right?
was like a classic RTS. You want to get your army nice and strong and then
Yep.
go fight the enemy army.
So that's what the game revolves around. Then what happened, slowly but surely, the game evolved. The game itself, like literally the mechanics of the game changed. Elemental dragons, void grubs, whatever. I mean, scuttles, sorry. All this shit. And basically, people started realizing, oh, there's some other concepts here. So YouTubers and content creators started making content about the strategy element of the game, okay? So everyone started getting really excited about the strategy element of the game. Now, rinse, repeat this over time. What ends up happening is because most players who are very good at the game can't articulate why they're good at the game. The only thing they can talk about is the strategic element of the game. Because if you've played thousands of games and you're playing at a challenger level, you're going to think that the reason you're challenger is because of the strategic element of the game. And it's the only thing that you can kind of in an intelligible way, like actually discuss what you're doing. You just brush over all the other things, such as like, I'm going to this fight. I just play it really, really well. I use I bait out abilities.
It's easy to say like, oh, I prioritize grubs over dragon,
Yes.
or I play for the tier 2 and leave my
Leave
team to
this,
die.
or here I'm
whatever it
valuing
is.
tempo, or here I'm building
Yeah.
these items because, right?
Yeah.
It's all this discussion about shit that beats around the bush of fighting really well. Everything else is window dressing in the game. Right, the items you build, the way the neutral objectives you prioritize, the win conditions, the macro, everything is window dressing for the actual root thing of the game, which is dealing damage and winning fights.
The analogy would be like in F1, they're just talking about the design of the car and the engineering and
Yes.
everything, but then they ignore the fact that I'm just a great driver and
They're
I
just
have really good
They're just
reactions.
performing perfectly on the laps.
Every corner is just so pristine.
That's a
Like,
given.
Yeah, that's a given.
That's
to
a
them.
given. They don't
Yeah.
need to talk about how to brake and how to like know when to brake.
Yeah,
Like,
because if you're an F1, they're all pretty similar.
because you
in
couldn't even
skill.
articulate it for them. They've driven since
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
3
It's
years
so
old.
boring. It's like,
They
yeah.
just want to talk about the car.
They just want to talk about because that's where the game.
That's where the
that sport has got
1%
to.
is. Yeah, it's
right.
the
So
1%.
it's the exact same thing in League, and until the new breed of coaches really come in, we're starting to actually realize when you actually peel back the layers and work with lower level players, you start to realize, well, what gets them results is
Yeah.
not necessarily the strategic element of the game. That's a part of it. It is an element, but there's a big thing here that's getting flown under the radar, which is you're just not hitting your goddamn abilities. You don't know how to deal damage. You're not baiting out abilities. You're getting hit by every skill shot. Right?
Yeah, and not even just that, but the idea that they focus on the macro stops them ever learning those
Yes.
things. So it's not that they were just bad at them; it's that they didn't care about them. People don't think it's important.
My grand theory is that it's a very sensitive topic, fighting mechanics, because you know what people think? It's not learnable, it's just talent.
Oh yes, the talent argument.
definitely,
Nathan's favorite.
Layer of that.
And you know, we've explored so much on this podcast, and anyone who's serious, who's able to articulate what they're actually doing in fights, a lot of it, 80% is anticipation. It's not actually
Yes.
mechanical talent side of things.
You've got a course in Jungle Academy that Parbu, one of our coaches, made, the 10 fighting principles. That are
yeah.
beautiful, really good course there. And like you can literally break down why this fight was a win, why this fight was a loss, what I did well. Like it is quantifiable. Fighting is
Yes.
It is,
quantifiable.
absolutely, especially in
There are
League.
principles,
But
behind it.
because a lot of people, these high level players who make the content, they're not incentivized to sit there and analyze why they're doing the fights like that because it's boring, non-sexy content.
Yeah, it is,
Why
yeah.
would they sit there and analyze their fights and explain why they're fighting like that when they can? It's just not clickbait.
Nathan's the only one talking about holding a Moo Q.
Yeah, the lone warrior, the only jungler that's not talking about clearing camps and actually talking about
Pathing or whatever.
other shit. I totally agree with that. And yes, it is harder. I would say harder to improve upon in some aspects because it's
Yeah.
it's a little bit random, but it's also not like you can isolate ability.
I
usage.
also think as well is that if you strategically do something, it's really obvious.
Yeah.
Like the outcome. But, at the end of the day, in a league game, people dying here and there, getting some kills here and there, they can't really see the missed opportunities or how the fight could have gone even better. But you know what you can see? You can see, I used Herald this way and this led to this, or I set up Dragon in this way, or this ward help. Those are very easy to see
Very
as well in the
visceral,
game.
obvious.
They're very, there for
Tangible.
you. But the
Yeah.
fighting is...
It looks messy.
It's messy, it's ugly, and a lot of people think that it's just 4 abilities and it's pretty easy and they're playing fights well.
And I think as well, people struggle with the whole idea of like, you don't need perfection. You know what I mean? Like, just even if you're like 5% better than your opponent in that fight. Like, you're anticipating one ability that they're not. Like, you're just got a huge advantage. Like the fact that like, let's just see a really basic example. I'm gonna use one of my favorite examples, Zhonya's Hourglass.
Oh wow, I've actually done a lot of Diana reviews, and the Zhonya's usage really needs some optimization.
Noticing that the enemy has a Zhonya.
Yes, this is what Zhonya's, right?
Yeah.
Zhonya's is the perfect illustration of, like, if you know how to use Zhonya's or you know how to play against Zhonya's, it will win you a fight. Straight up.
Correct.
Like, you go in and you get the perfect time Zhonya's, you bait out all the abilities, you soak up all this shit, you start the engage, you get a great engage off, you just win the fight.
Yep.
And if you don't know how to use Zhonya's because you don't know what abilities come in to kill you, you don't know what the key threats are, you lose the fight. And it's a wasted item because it doesn't do as much damage as something like a Death Cap or a Voice or whatever. And I think it's you can see it straight away in, are they anticipating the key abilities or are they not? And, I think that, if you want motivation to, like, improve your fighting, just start getting better at, like, singular abilities, and then go to your key fights and start to realize, what was the key ability here that I didn't see coming? What was the main thing here? Get rid of all the fluff. There's probably all these little things, but what's the big thing here that you didn't see coming? Oh shit, I didn't know Sion had ult here. Sion could ult here. I didn't know that Ari could get a reset on R. I didn't know that Kai'Sa could reposition with R. I didn't know Kai'Sa's W revealed stealth. Just one thing. Boom.
I didn't know Yorick did that much damage.
Don't know Yorick did that much damage.
There you go.
Huge.
Yep.
Done. That's your observation. Congratulations. Move on to another game.
People want sexy observations. And I think this is part of the problem because improving at fighting is like, yes, there are things to learn, but sometimes, Curtis, I really don't like the word learn when it comes to improving at League of Legends. I think equally, people need to practice.
Yeah.
I love the word practice. You need to learn things and then you need to practice them.
Yeah.
You can't just learn. You need to put it into the goddamn game and get repetitions in. Because the way you get better at fighting is by fighting and then looking at the fight and then doing that over and over again. It's like practicing your times tables. You practice the times tables, you look at the result, you do it again, you do that every day, you'll get better at it.
Yeah, like, I didn't learn times tables. I practiced it. Like,
It's so interesting you mentioned that. I love that, Charles, because I'm at the moment I'm learning Mandarin, right? And so when I'm learning the Chinese characters, right, these characters, and I have this printout. It's a sheet. I've got it in my bag right there, and you have it's like all these squares. And what I'm doing every day is I just spend like 20-30 minutes writing out the characters, rewriting them. I'm learning, practicing characters, practicing how to write,
getting it in your muscle memory.
So I've done this one little word like hours, and I'm still now just getting to the point where I can write it without having to look at the sheet anymore. And I'm just practicing. So I didn't expect that I would be able to look at it once or twice and know and remember it.
That's the thing with people,
that's a given in other things, not in League.
Because in League, people think that there are these big overarching concepts, and once you know it, you've got it.
Yeah,
that's what people think. I understand tempo now. I understand wave management.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you need to learn how to apply wave management in 1,000 different ways with all these different variables in the way and factoring in the mental stack. It's like,
and this is all just what's the word, like obfuscated, or it's just like made
Obscure?
blurry. It's all made blurry and
What's
put to
the word, Charles?
I can't remember the word, but
obfuscated.
Yeah, like it's just putting thanks,
Charles.
Charles.
Always on me for the words.
We can. You're our dictionary.
By
Charles.
LP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
If there was, like, LP is the giant, like it just comes in the way and just blocks off
it's
all
the
this.
facade of the building.
Yes. Yeah. So I love that. Practice.
Because not every game has learnings, but you can practice in every game.
But I think the counter argument to that, Charles, why practicing, the term practicing isn't mentioned, I think, is because it's not replicable. They don't have this sheet where I can just write it out. They can't go into practice tool and drill it.
Yeah.
It's like
you have to practice in the mud.
Yeah, you have to practice.
That's the problem.
Your practice environment is different every.
It is the arena. It is the LP. It is the ranked. Yeah, that's the thing that's hard about.
That's the hard thing about.
You also
League.
have to play to win. You can't just play to practice.
Yeah,
it's like
that as well. Yeah. That's why League is so
like
hard.
piano. I can just practice my my scales or whatever, and then I can also play some songs, and I can notice the difference between the two. But in League of Legends, it's both. It's
both. Yes,
that's why there has to be learning and practice, a merriment of both.
It's a fascinating topic. It's a very fascinating topic.
Fascinating for us anyway, because our profession is learning League of Legends.
Yes,
maybe not so much to everyone else. But there
it's
you
all
go.
just mental masturbation at the end of the day.
Of course.
Just get on the rift, man.
Let's get on the rift. Have a bit of fun.
All right.
I want to play Soloq here.
Next question here comes from Steven. The title of this email is I keep switching my philosophy on learning and now I'm lost. Hey there, BBC. I love the podcast and have been through 4 setup changes and cameras cutting off. I've been loving every part of it along the way. My problem currently that I've noticed for a little while now is that my mindset on what to improve on and how to go about it has changed so much, and now I don't know how I'm meant to continue. I started off watching Skill Capped, and their whole learning league is easy with one simple trick. Spiel.
Doctors hate them. Just keep going.
And for a time it worked. After the addition of Emerald as a rank, I saw myself after struggling in Gold, skyrocket up to low Emerald. I thought, finally, I'm getting somewhere, then immediately fell back down to Platinum. After a season or 2, I decided to get serious and found Coach Curtis and BBC. And since then, I was able to climb to Diamond for the first time, adopting the 3-block, merch.weteachleague.com. Focusing on champ mastery and understanding that the game is a lot harder than it seems. Finally, I'm getting somewhere. I thought before tilting back down to plat and was stuck there for the rest of 2024 season. So I changed again. I decided that I needed to become a more diverse player, going from a 1 trick to having 3 to 4 champs I mainly play. From here, become a pro purist studying VODs from Chovy, Faker, Zeka, watching as many pro matches, both live and older, and mainly looking to LS as my pseudo home base for content on such. From this, I fluctuate, constantly going from low plat and even dipping into Gold to Diamond 2 as my peak. Now I'm here and feel myself falling back into the patented Elo slingshot, seeing myself going from low Emerald to Diamond 2 and so on and so forth. And now I don't know what to do. I tell myself it's simple, just play like you did before or focus on improving, don't worry about LP. And even it's my mental holding me back and I need to take a break, all of which have varying effects. I feel my motivation for the game, waning.
Like the moon waxes and wanes, you know?
Waning. That's a new word added to the vocabulary.
We're learning a lot.
But listening to you guys as well as the most recent Worlds has reinvigorated me to push more, to find out why I'm feeling so lost. TLDR, I've been struggling in my league journey and been hopping between learning styles and now feel lost on where to go from here.
This is interesting, isn't it?
My first thought is he over consuming content?
It seems like he's swapping between inspiration like gurus. Like
he's
the
next
he's
guru
like
to tell me something.
religion hopping, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, let me see if Buddhism is the path to enlightenment. Oh, let me see if like Christianity has some things going for it. You know, he's just dancing around. It sounds like maybe not one specific. I mean, I don't even know, actually. I don't know where that analogy was going, but
No, I get where you're coming from. Like, at the end of the day, right, every content creator you watch, there's some truth to what they say, right? Skill Caps have some things that they talk about that are objectively correct and true. LS and, you know, every content creator. It's not like no one is saying straight misinformation. Even the good old niece, he had some great things.
There's like a message there, you know. There's like something they
glean.
specialize in.
Yeah, exactly. There's something. So you don't just look at one person and be like, they're completely wrong. There's some element of correctness to what they're saying. Same for us. But the mindset you want to get into is like I think like you said there, Charlie, he's probably digesting too much content. He's spreading himself too thin, and he's just overcomplicating shit massively,
he
right?
needs to be a practitioner. This sounds like a theorist.
Let go of whatever you've done in the past. Okay, if I'm in those shoes, if I'm in exactly his shoes, I'm just going to give him...
Let's get practical.
Get practical. Let go of your past rank. If you're in gold, platinum, emerald, doesn't matter. Wherever you're at right now, accept that is your rank. You were never a higher rank than exactly what you are right now. Get your pool sorted, right? If you're in 2 to 3 champions, right? Not 3 complex champs, just 2. You can have 1 complex champ and 2 complementaries.
We have a course on how to do that.
Yep, on our school. Watch that if you need to. It's the last piece of content you ever need. Then boom.
Sorry, I'm suggesting content.
Yeah, yeah. And then 3 blocks. And even right now, temporarily, I actually would say don't review. Just play in 3 blocks. Make some baseline up. What are you noticing? Get 10 days of 3 blocks under your belt
with no content,
no limited content if at all.
It's like we need
barely
to
any reviews. /mute all, and just see what happens. Stick to the same champions. Stick to that routine. Stop digesting shit. Don't over-review at all. If you want to look at 1 or 2 deaths, go for it. That is it. At the end of those 10 days, okay, you're going to be able to start to notice some trends and tendencies. What are you noticing? And what you're going to do is you're going to start from the fundamentals and work backwards. You're going to look at your first 8 minutes. Are you having a consistent early game? Start there. And then slowly but surely start to just go over a few things using the micro-macro framework. I've got a really good, no bullshit, simplified way of reviewing on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. And just follow that. If you can do that, that should cleanse out all the shit. That could cleanse out all the noise. And then start there. And that should give you a bit of a platform or a foundation to create some consistency.
Curtis, the main one that you said there is the 3 block. You talk about, he said Elo Slingshot. Do you know why he's in Elo Slingshot, Curtis? Because he's played 1,300 games this season, and he plays how many games a day? He plays the game a lot. Like, this is not 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Right? So a big part of a lot of people is play less, especially these Emerald Diamond players.
Yep.
Play less high-intensity games. Learn what high-intensity gameplay feels like, because the moment people start Elo Slingshot, Elo Slingshot can't be... If you play 1 3 block a day, you can't Elo Slingshot.
Okay, so Elo Slingshot only can be possible is basically 1 or 2 ways. Like you said just there, Nathan.
Playing too
spamming
much
games.
And
tilting.
Not emptying the recycle bin.
Exactly, and not letting go of mental baggage. Play a 3 block, reflect, let go.
Not being honest with yourself as well.
Yes.
Like when people generally know when to not play, but they play anyway.
Yep. So forget everything else. Like just follow what we just said there. That's all you need to do.
I've got one more thing to add, Curtis, which this is going to cut straight to the bullshit, right? To play a tiny bit of devil's advocate to what you just said. You have been observing content for a very, very long time, which is general. Content is general, right? You know what's not general is coaching. You probably need to just get someone to look at your gameplay.
Outside perspective.
Because like if you've invested this much time into the game, like seasons and seasons, thousands of games, like just join an academy for like 1 month and have a look, get some alternate perspective, talk to some folks in there and see what sort of, because that's targeted, personalized feedback, which will actually help you with yours, where content is by design not meant to be targeted. It's meant to be general and appeal to everyone. So that's why you might be getting spread so thin and getting forced in 100 different directions, because the people making the content have to address people with hundreds of different problems. But you need problems. You need help for you.
Especially
it's so fascinating how like some people dedicate thousands of hours, like hundreds and thousands of hours of the game, yet they're not willing to just pay $39 for 1 month of coaching. Like if you're going to put that much time into the game and you're struggling, like you're having this terrible time and you're having all this anxiety and stress, just get some help, mate. Just get some help. It doesn't even have to be from us. Someone, anyone. Right? Like, and I think if you're that passionate about the game, like it's a small price to pay for a lot of peace of mind. It's your hobby. Take passion in it. Take pride.
Yep.
Right?
Because we've saved a lot of people from pitfalls like this. Like we have a track record of helping people like this. Not to like toot our own horn a little bit, but this is what we do.
And
we specialize in helping people.
And also
like
as well, like if once you get to your plateau, and then get some coaching. It's simple.
Exactly. You can implement what Curtis said and then get stuck and then I'll help if that's what you need.
Very simple.
Yeah, do that 10-day
10-day challenge.
2-week challenge.
Yeah.
It's like a cleanse.
Get it done.
I like the idea of
and take one
cleanse.
day off a week. If he's got that many games, he needs to take Tim's advice and take 1 day off a week.
Yeah.
24 hours. No league content, no bot games, no ARAMs. Just get the hell off the computer.
No content.
No content,
as well.
nothing. Full cleanse.
Yeah. Touch grass, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1,400 games. This guy's played 727 wins and 696
Unnecessary.
losses.
Many, many games.
All right, well, that wraps up our episode today. Everyone, good work. 3-block process. Merch.com/WeTeachLeague. Oh, also as well, their boot camp. Tickets are getting sold now. There'll be a link in the description below. That's bootcamp.weteachleague.com. You can sign up for a block there. There'll be information on the page there about how the boot camp works. We'll see you guys on our next episode.